Even during the Second World War, the British government did not block the propaganda broadcasts of Nazi Germany. And we've seen a change from that policy in the last few years. Probably the most draconian banning here in Britain was of the Iranian state broadcaster Press TV, and they were banned on a really very flimsy pretext when you consider the factual inaccuracies which were broadcast all over Britain by the BBC and other networks in the run up to the Iraq War. In other words, the weapons of mass destruction, the dodgy dossier. This lie was peddled time and time again, and yet the media don't seem to understand, and the government, how important it is to have a free media to keep the people behind you. And that's what happens when you start banning foreign broadcasts. The local population then start to realize actually our government's trying to control what we see and hear. And that's what's happening in Poland today. And it's a very, very dangerous precedent because if the people are going to decide and actually be behind their own government, they've got to have all points of view. And that's the traditional libertarian point of view. And the opposite, I'm afraid, is a kind of draconian system which we're seeing. I mean, for example, here in Britain today, we have the anniversary of the 7/7 London bombings, the 10th anniversary, and yet there are literally scores of holes in the government story, none of which are being looked at by the press. So one of the first things that the British did when they invaded Iraq was destroy the communications towers, the TV stations, the radio stations, and the printing presses, and the same exact thing in Libya. So what we're seeing unfolding now is a kind of media war that's going on alongside the other wars, the economic warfare. It's very different to the way World War II unfolded, but it's a war nevertheless.